Hello students. So welcome to the lecture. Today we are going to see a case study on 3D printer. So in this case study we are going to discuss about the difference between the 2D printer and the 3D printer, and then we will cover about the applications of the 3D printer, right? So let us move on to the video. So this is the space where we do many things by using this 3D printer. So welcome everybody for the drone technology laboratory. So this is one of the facility we are seeing here is the 3D printer, right? So it is a home 3D printer and we use it for our own purpose, right? So this is the facility that is available in our institution. So coming to the part, so I would like to know about the normal printing process, right? So if you see the normal printer, what we do, actually we will feed some data, am I right? And we will plug the cable to the USB cable to the printer, and once the information from the computer is sent to the printer, it prints, am I right? So could you tell me, Junaid, what is the difference between the 2D and the 3D printer, according to you?
2D printer actually prints in x-axis and y-axis, but the 3D printer prints also in the z-axis. That means the thickness of the object.
Yes, very good. As Junaid told, right? So if you see the printer, am I right? So the printer normally, if we see the printer, all the printers that are in the shops everywhere, right? They only print on XY axis, right? If you take a sheet of paper, if you see the sheet of paper, so this is the Y axis and this one is the X axis. That is the vertical and the horizontal axis, right? So this printer, what we do is, once the information is sent, then the printer prints in the XY axis. But this is the 3D printing machine, right? So this 3D printer is the, could you come closer please? And this 3D printing machine prints in X, Y and Z axis. So this is Y axis, this is X axis and this one is the Z axis. So if you see this nozzle, right? So this is the printer head, right? So here what happens is, here the printer, this is the raw material, right? This raw material is fused inside this printer. So this printer is capable of having a heating coil. So this heating coil heats the filament and the filament flows in the semi-solid state. So the component is built. So as a mechanical engineer, we must know the difference between the normal printing and the 3D printing. So could you tell us what you observed from the normal printing? So if you see, this is a component, right? So this component is built by using some injection molding or some other mechanical conventional process. So what is the
difference?
Yeah.
Sir, first of all, we can go for casting, sir. Casting injection model. It takes about the cost of 2,000 to 3,000, sir.
Yes.
So it will down the production. So that we can go for 3D printer. We can make it just some cost effective and we can do our customization. For example, we can take this part as an example.
Yes.
It will take about 3,000 to 4,000 for this part alone for injection models.
Yes.
So if we go for 3D printing, we can do some customization. Also, we can reduce the cost. It may cost about 600 to 500.
Yes, yes,
sir.
very good.
Difference.
So as he demonstrated, in this case if you see here, so this is the chassis of the drone, right? So you may see many drones, am I right? Nowadays we use drones in the marriage functions to capture videos, am I right? Even drones are used in the defense system, am I right? So this drone is manufactured by mounting all the components over this chassis, right? So this is a customized chassis which is printed in this laboratory. Yes, clear. So this dimension may vary depending upon the application, right? So that is how we use this 3D printer. As he told, if we go for conventional manufacturing in mechanical engineering, what we do is we have to pick up the material, we have to melt the material, even it is a metal or a plastic, we have to melt the material and we have to flow in between the dies. The dies are nothing but they are the shapes that the final product will acquire that particular shape. So we will pour it the metal or the plastic in between the dies so that it captures the shape of the dies. So that is how it is done. So what we need is, if you use conventional manufacturing process, we have to prepare a die set for the particular component. Say this component is to be manufactured, you have to prepare a die set for this component and then you have to go for the process. So that takes cost, that takes time, that takes everything. Right? So that is why in this case, if you see this 3D printing equipment, what we do is, there is a computer connected with this 3D printing equipment, right? So this computer we can program by using modeling softwares, right? So we can do some designs in any of the modeling softwares, then it will be converted into a STL file format. STL stands for Standard Tessellated Language File or triangle file, right? So this file is the language of this machine, right? So it can understand the design and it can print. So the next process is slicing, right? Like we slice the watermelon, right? This design can be sliced into layer by layer, right? And then the information is given to this machine. So this is the raw material. This is called the spool, which produces, which supplies the raw material to this nozzle, right? This machine, right? So what happens here is, once the design is done, the file conversion is done. This file is sent into this machine, and this machine starts printing. So this is how the components are printed in this machine. So I would like to ask a few points from your perspective. Yes, can you tell how it can be done?
For the 3D printing, the element we require is the filament, which will print the object. So when we insert the filament in the 3D printer, it will melt into a semi-solid state and it will print the object. So there are many types of filament according to their temperature withstand and minus degrees cooler element withstand.
Yes.
So the things like TPU
Yes.
and the carbon
Yes.
and even gold also used as a filament.
Yes,
So the wastage of the is also reduced.
Very good, well said, right? So the main point here is the wastage, because what we do is, in conventional manufacturing, you can see this component, right? There are some holes and then you can see this profile, right? So what we have to do is, once the component is manufactured in like a box, then we have to cut the unwanted shapes that removes the unwanted shape that can produce waste of material. But here it is one go. Once it is loaded, the exact shape is printed. There is no material removal. That is why the other name of this manufacturing process is called additive manufacturing. There are many names: additive manufacturing, layer by layer manufacturing, 3D printing. So by outcome of this lecture, you all have enough knowledge on 3D printing, am I right? So we can manufacture our customized components, we can reduce the cost, as well as we can do any things according to our requirements and applications, right? So thanks for listening and thanks for the interaction, and we will meet in another case study video. Thank you.